This is necn Tonight.
Breaking tonight on necn, several police officers shot in Philadelphia.
We got an officer shot at that location.
The latest after a tense standoff lasting hours. Plus,
a man hit and killed during a morning run and discovered by neighbors.
And I'm really upset that whoever did this didn't stop.
The new details we're learning on the search for the driver.
A popular fast food chain accused of violating child labor laws. We're live with the details of that investigation.
And crowds of people flocking to New Hampshire one day before the president's highly anticipated visit. necn Tonight starts now. First tonight, we follow breaking news. It's been unfolding for nearly 6 hours in North Philadelphia. Here's what we know. 6 officers have been shot, and right now, police and SWAT teams are still involved in an active standoff. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Melody Mendez.
and I'm Brian Burnell. Let's get right to necn's Audrey Assistio. She's in the newsroom, and Audrey has information that just came in moments ago. Audrey?
That's right, Brian and Melody. We just learned that 2 officers who were trapped inside the home with the shooter have been safely evacuated, but the violent situation is still unfolding as police attempt to negotiate the gunman's surrender.
Right there. Stand by. Car stand by. Second assist. 3715. 115. Shots fired. Shots fired inside.
Officers say gunfire initially erupted at around 4:30 this afternoon after narcotics officers served a warrant at a home in the city's Nicetown Tioga section. Police say as officers rushed upstairs, a gunman waiting downstairs fired shots through the ceiling. Police fired back, starting a standoff. Video shows officers crouching behind cars, blocking off surrounding streets and surrounding several nearby homes as the firefight unfolded.
There are 6 police officers who were struck by gunfire. Thankfully, all of them are in stable condition. They were struck throughout their body. One officer sustained a gunshot wound, grazed wound to his head. Thankfully, that was all that was. Got an officer shot in the arms, got an officer shot in various parts of their body, but fortunately, everybody's going to be okay.
Well, I hope justice will be served. But this is, you're watching, children are watching this, senior citizens are watching this, and you have a sense of fear.
Now, there are conflicting reports at this time as to how many suspects there are. Police initially said at least 1 suspect was already taken into custody earlier, but the commissioner said at a press briefing recently that he couldn't say with certainty that anyone remained in custody. But right now, we do know that officers are still attempting to communicate with the gunman, urging him to surrender. We, of course, will keep you updated. In the newsroom, Audrey Assistio, necn.
Audrey, thank you. Obviously, this is still an unfolding situation, and we're committed to bringing you every detail of the Philadelphia police officer shootings. Be sure to download the free necn app for the latest headlines anytime.
Tragedy tonight in Sutton, Massachusetts. The body of a man was found early this morning on a family's yard. Police say he was jogging when he was hit in an apparent hit and run. And now tonight, we're learning that man's name as police release information on the search for a driver. necn's Eli Rosenberg live for us tonight in Sutton with the details. Eli.
Well, tonight, Daniel DeLima's family understandably devastated. They say this 51-year-old loved to run and was doing just that this morning when he was hit and killed. Tonight, police continue to search for the driver. Now, let's show you a picture of the 51-year-old. He was running last year in the Paris Marathon. That is when this picture was taken. Now, here is surveillance video we just obtained. The family tonight confirming this is DeLima running this morning. Now, this is from a store that is less than a mile from where all of this happened. Police say DeLima was hit and killed this morning while running on Singletary Avenue here in Sutton. They believe he was hit around 6:15 this morning, but wasn't discovered until a woman came home out of her yard and saw DeLima in her yard. The woman's husband tried to revive him, but his injuries, we are told, were just too severe. Tonight, DeLima's family is remembering him, saying the psychologist had a rough life in his native Brazil, but found running as a way to deal with the stress.
Daniel was a very loved person, extremely forgiving and fun. He was just, there was no such thing as a bad time around him. He always made people laugh, and everyone that knows him knows, his big heart. And we just, it's still a little shocking. It's still sinking in.
And a lot of crying, a lot of hugs, and a lot of tears at DeLima's house in nearby Millbury tonight as family and friends gather to remember him. As for the investigation, we talked to the police chief, we talked to the DA. They say they continue to investigate leads, and right now they are looking for a white SUV that possibly has front-end damage on the passenger side as the investigation continues. Live in Sutton, Eli Rosenberg, NECN.
Eli, thank you. All right, let's get a first check of your forecast tonight. A live look now over Boston. Look at that. Definitely less humidity out there today, thankfully. It felt really nice.
But it did take its time getting through all of New England today, Tim. That humidity getting moved out.
Yeah, that white in the background, that's fog. It's just over the harbor now in Boston. It's been coming and going. It caused delays at Logan Airport. It was a foggy day on Cape Cod. Still tough to find a parking spot at the beach. The front that went through last night with the thunderstorms has settled to the south. Some flash flooding also near Philadelphia, and look at the thunderstorms over the ocean. All right, here's the high temperature map today. It was still sticky along the coast from Connecticut to Cape Cod. 80 in Groton with a dew point of 70. 80 in Rochester, New Hampshire. 83 Lebanon, New Hampshire. Northern New England, the dew point is low enough for a very comfortable night of sleeping. In New Haven, Connecticut, a dew point of 70 is very sticky. Dew point and temperature both in the 60s on Cape Cod with some fog. That's how you're going to wake up. Fog, patchy fog, southern New England. Fog should burn off for most of us with the temperature getting up to close to 80 degrees, cooler at the shore. We'll come back with a pretty nice beach forecast and 10-day that has 2 weekends in a few minutes.
If it's a beach forecast, it's always nice. Thanks, Tim. Tonight, we're learning that a longtime associate of Jeffrey Epstein may be living in our area. NBC News has learned that Ghislaine Maxwell reportedly is living in Manchester by the Sea in a mansion. A property manager at the property says Maxwell was living there as recently as 2 weeks ago. The mansion is owned by a tech CEO, Scott Borgerson, who admits knowing Maxwell but denies that she's at the house. Tonight, we've also confirmed Manchester by the Sea's police department has been asked to increase patrols on Hickory Hill Road and Summer Street in the neighborhood.
New tonight on NECN, nearly 24 Qdoba restaurants in the Bay State are now under investigation for possible child labor violations. NECN's Chris Emma live at a recently closed restaurant in Newton. And Chris, a worker there, we understand, actually sparked this whole investigation, right?
That's right. Good evening to you, Melody. That's right. It came in from a press release from Attorney General Maura Healey's office. This Newton location here, that Qdoba, just one of the almost 24 Qdoba locations now that are accused of violating child labor laws. Now, Massachusetts Attorney General Maura Healey, her office said they ordered 22 to be exact, Massachusetts Qdoba locations, and as a result, more than 1,000 law violations and penalties have been assessed there. In total, more than $409,000 in fines has been charged to Qdoba, and it all originated to back in March of 2018 when a minor complained that she had to work late into the evening at this Newton location. And according to the AG's office, other minors were forced to work late and too many hours per shift. Now, under Massachusetts law, workers under the age of 18, they may not work more than 9 hours a day and cannot exceed 48 hours a week. Now, we have reached out to Qdoba for them to comment on these allegations multiple times. So far, they have not gotten back to us. Reporting live in Newton, I'm Chris Emma, NECN.
All right, new Orange Line trains are making their debut today on the tracks. Take a look at that ride. The new and improved trains have several upgrades, including wider doors. Over the next few years, all 152 trains will be replaced as part of a $2 billion project for the Red and Orange lines.
Happening tomorrow, President Trump will be in New England hosting a Make America Great Again rally. But tonight, more than 24 hours before the event, crowds of people are lining up to get their spot, like a ball game. Patriots game, right? A big Patriots game. While some people are there to support the president, others are there protesting his visit. Preparations well underway tonight all around the city of Manchester. That's where we find our Michael Rosenfield live tonight with a look at tomorrow's rally. Michael?
Brian, the president speaks here tomorrow night, but we've had plenty of activity here in Manchester, New Hampshire this evening with many people lined up, ready to go in, and protesters across the street.
I am wicked excited.
Darlene Weeks already in line, more than 24 hours before President Trump even takes the stage.
I love Trump. I just want to see him. I don't care if I had to sleep out here for 2 weeks.
About a couple dozen people lined up a day in advance Doors don't even open until Thursday afternoon.
I've been to 5 rallies during the last election, and the man is amazing. If you don't like him when you go in, you'll love him when he comes out, because he talks to you.
Trump supporters say too many Democratic candidates for 2020 are making promises that are impossible to keep.
They're going to give free medical, free health, free college education. How can they do it? How can they? I want somebody to come out and tell me how they're going to pay for that.
Across the street, protesters lined this busy Manchester intersection.
I think he's bringing the nation down the wrong path, morally, politically, policy-wise.
The anti-Trump contingent saying he's just too divisive.
I think that we can't be silent and watch hate take over our country and our government. It's toxic. It will destroy us.
So the doors to the arena here will open at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Air Force One is expected at the Manchester airport at 6, and the president should be delivering his remarks at 7. Live in Manchester tonight, Michael Rosenfield, NECN.
Michael, thank you. In the meantime, Senator Elizabeth Warren back in New England today, holding her 122nd town hall in New Hampshire, Franconia, as a matter of fact. Warren supporters showing up to back the Democrat, who they say has a clear vision on how to get things done in Washington. Senator Warren gaining momentum in the crowded Democratic field, polling not far behind the frontrunner, Joe Biden. Still ahead, designated injection sites for drug users proposed for a greater Boston city. Tonight, both sides of the argument.
And Yankees general manager pulled over at gunpoint in Connecticut. The dramatic new video and the explanation from police.
And we're continuing to follow that breaking news out of Philadelphia, where at least 6 police officers have been shot. Investigators gave an update just a little while ago. Police say this has turned from a hostage situation now into a barricade situation. They're not sure at this point if the gunman in the standoff is injured. Some good news, though. Police say a couple of officers have already been released from the hospital, and all 6 are going to be okay. This remains a very active situation. We'll stay on top of it.
At MGB, get a $70 reward card with purchase of 4 select Michelin tires, like the Michelin Premier All-Season Tire. Because every stop counts. Michelin Performance every time. Plus, take advantage of our $19.99 oil change. At MGB, that's all you need.
At Marvin, we make more than just windows and doors. We make fresh breezes and nightlights, relaxing retreats, open invitations, and peace of mind. At Marvin, we make windows and doors inspired by how you live, so you're inspired to live well.
My dad served in World War II. He was my hero. As he got older, he needed more help. I was a caregiver for my dad, and I can honestly say VA healthcare was there for him, my family, and myself every step of the way. The VA offers unlimited healthcare options from routine preventative care to home health and everything in between. It never cost my dad or our family a penny. As a veteran, my dad deserved the best, and so does the veteran in your life. My name is Dottie, and I believe VA cares.
Now this is a seamless transition. Effortlessly sync your compatible phone to your car. Introducing the 2019 Nissan Sentra, the tech you'd expect at a price you wouldn't.
Now, get a low $129 per month lease or get 0% financing for up to 60 months on the 2019 Sentra.
Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway.
There's a lot to love about. There's a lot to love about you.
There's a lot to love about driving a brand new Subaru Impreza with symmetrical all-wheel drive. Lease for only $189 per month. With so much to love, you don't want to miss the Subaru of New England A Lot to Love clearance event.
There's a lot to love about. There's a lot to love about you.
So when I hear that something tastes light and crispy, it usually means I'm going to be hungry again in like 3 seconds. So these new Atkins protein wafer crisps are huge news because, well, they're light, crispy, delicious, and shockingly filling. Try the peanut butter. You'll see.
This is NECN Tonight.
Safe injection sites, they're designated supervised locations for drug users, and they are highly controversial.
But tonight, the mayor of Somerville, Massachusetts, says he's moving forward with plans to open at least one in his city. It's quickly been met with some backlash. NECN's Catherine Sotnick has the details.
We're going to stand side by side.
Somerville Mayor Joe Cartatoni has announced he's formed a working group to look at a supervised injection site, or a place where people can inject heroin under medical supervision.
I understand where they're coming from, but I don't think the residents are going to like it.
Resident Ray DeVonzo says he's not fond of the idea due to the message it sends.
Accepting it, kind of like accepting it.
Others like it.
I think I would support it, definitely as a pilot program, just to see if that's helping our local community.
With the amount of people that are dying out here from overdosing, I mean, a safe place for people to inject. I mean, I'm against it, but at the same time, if it's going to save lives, we got too many young people dying right now.
Mayor Cartatoni says data shows these sites can save lives, but it won't come without legal hurdles. The U.S. Attorney for Massachusetts says he's alarmed with the surge in public misinformation and that people have died at supervised injection sites, and that, quote, opening a facility for people to inject themselves with heroin and fentanyl is illegal under federal and state law. Barring a change in the Justice Department's position, if Somerville opens one, federal enforcement will follow. And Governor Baker has also publicly rejected injection sites in the past. Reporting from City Hall here in Somerville, I'm Catherine Sotnick, NECN.
Kat, thank you. We are now seeing body cam video of Yankees general manager Brian Cashman being pulled over at gunpoint by Connecticut police. It's amazing video. Cashman's car was stolen and recovered. Problem is, it was still listed as stolen on their database.
Yeah, these guys weren't upset that they didn't pick up a picture at the deadline. The officer yelling at Cashman to get out of the car and then saying he recognizes him, but he can't place him. Here it is.
Driver, turn off your car, put your hands up. You look very familiar to me. GM of the New York Yankees. Yeah, I know. Turn away from us.
Shouldn't you? I'm the GM of the New York Yankees. Don't you know that? Come on.
Yeah, but maybe he thought he saw him in lockup at one time, recognized him from, who knows. But anyway, Cashman has said the officers were just doing their jobs and that they were very professional.
After he gave him quite a bit of attitude.
Well,
as a Red Sox fan, I feel the need to say that.
Let's move on, shall we?
No bias whatsoever.
Comic-Con fans are getting ready for the big fan expo at the Boston Convention Center this weekend.
So ahead of that, though, these superheroes had a little preview for staff and patients at Spalding Rehab Center, and you can see everyone had a lot of fun.
What's incredible is this is our 4th year doing this, and we've really developed a relationship with Fan Expo Boston. They've become connected to Spalding and our community. They're looking at ways of supporting what we do here all year.
In addition to their day at the pediatric unit, the superheroes gave away 4 VIP tickets to the expo to some of the kitchen staff at Spalding. That's
Boy, look
great.
at that. Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman.
In that voice, too.
Yes. Now let's go to Weatherman.
Oh, no. Oh, don't do it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to set him loose like that.
You got him started. You wound up the toy, and now it goes.
Yes, I'm Luna. This is the moon, and a lot of people think that word lunacy comes from the full moon, and perhaps it does. Thank you, Cape Ann Weather at 20 years on the internet. Chris Spittle getting this shot in East Gloucester, Massachusetts. Looks very orange when it comes above the fog with a little bit of low cloud because the more atmosphere it comes through lower in the sky, the less of the bright light that comes through. Now it's higher in the sky and it's brighter if you're not in dense fog that has moved in now from just south of Cape Ann to Cape Cod and the islands. We're on the cool side of the front today, and the water temperatures come down enough with dew points in the 60s. We are getting fog, which did not happen last week. Comfortable sleeping weather, though, especially away from the shore and north with the low temperature in the 50s tonight. Little change in the weather tomorrow. Then humidity and storms return with the threat getting bigger each day as we get into the weekend. That's what usually happens after a nice Wednesday. Things change. Look at that one cloud kind of right over Lake Winnipesaukee tomorrow. There are going to be some instability clouds clouds, and also over Cape Cod, some low clouds in eastern Maine. But I think the beach weather tomorrow, lakes and mountains, and especially the coast, Connecticut, Rhode Island, looking excellent with a sunburn factor close to 8 from Newport points west. But once you get to Nantucket Sound, you're going to have to be somewhat patient for that fog to burn off. But I think the sun does come out tomorrow afternoon. And look at the temperature with the wind coming in from the east at 73. Water temperature is cooled to 66 now at the Boston buoy. And so with the water temperature lower than the air temperature in the dew point, that means that the sun should come out. There could be some instability showers developing tomorrow, especially away from the coast. There is a very subtle boundary with much drier air across far northern New England, more humid air in southern New England. There's a chance of a shower or even a thunderstorm. Looks like it could be some spots get a couple of them, but most of us do not get any rain tomorrow. And there's the sun on the south coast. High temperature tomorrow is going to be about 70 to 75 at the beach. Wind from the east at about only 10 to 15 miles an hour. And once again, in the Connecticut River Valley, we're going to get to 80 to 85. And it was confirmed, record huge hailstorm yesterday in Colorado. And there's more severe weather happening in Colorado. The deep tropical moisture is off to the south. There's been some severe weather. And here's that subtle boundary I'm talking about that's going to kind of lift into the region. Air is wind is air moving from high to low pressure. So when the high pressure is to your north, that's where the air comes from. And then watch what happens on Friday. You get low pressure to your north and to your south. So that means there's very little in the way of wind, but it is still kind of coming in from the east at the beaches. Probably a grayer day and a cooler day at the beach on Friday, although it looks pretty good in the afternoon. And then another front's going to go to our north, and here comes the warmth and the humidity over the weekend. We've got the clear of the shelters in our 10-day on Saturday. Doesn't matter what the weather is. You want to adopt a pet, help clear the shelters. And then on Sunday, the Falmouth Road Race, it's going to be foggy early, then some sun and very sticky, mid-80s. Chance of a thunderstorm each afternoon in New England, not a washout. Then close to 90 to start off next week. That's our forecast.
Tim, thank you.
Nothing like a little matinee baseball afternoon.
We should do it more often, right?
Absolutely.
Red Sox getting it done and getting it done well, so that's cool.
Thankfully, yeah.
And what's better than hooking up with old friends? Nothing that I can think of. Patriots did it with Tennessee. We'll have more on that when we come back.
You took my father. Somebody's gonna pay for this.
There's no crime more chilling, heartless, no secret more revealing.
Oh my Lord.
No story more surprising than a real-life Dateline mystery.
That was pretty ugly crime scene. Yeah, it was particularly gruesome.
Follow every twist and turn, 5 times a week.
The chase is on.
With Dateline, weeknights at 8 on necn.
Nobody builds a roof like Olin. Serving communities of eastern Massachusetts for over 40 years, Olin is your local roofing expert with the best warranties in the business. Nobody builds a roof like Olin. Call today at 1-877-BUY-OLIN.
Hey. Really?
Hi, guys.
We like the gray.
It's car buying season at Nissan's Bottom Line Model Year-End event. Get the bottom line on the last of our 2019s, like the Tech Advanced Rogue and Altima. Hurry in for model year-end savings on our full line. Now, get a low $199 per month lease or save up to $2,000 on the 2019 Nissan Rogue.
Being your mom is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. But watching addiction destroy your life was the worst thing I could ever imagine. I wish I knew then what I know today. I wish I had understood that addiction is a deadly disease and that you needed treatment. I wish I had known there was hope.
Recovery Centers of America specializes in treatment for drug addiction and alcohol abuse and can help your loved one today. Call 1-800-446-0718.
Just what I wanted. Think it's comfortable? You need a bigger screen. Something's not right.
Guys, come try it in the showroom.
Glad you tried it in store?
We'll take 3. Try it before you buy it. Come in today and test dress Nectar Mattress in-store at any Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses location. Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses.
Nobody builds a roof like Olin. Serving communities of eastern Massachusetts for over 40 years, Olin is your local roofing expert with the best warranties in the business. Nobody builds a roof like Olin. Call today at 1-877-BUY-OLIN.
We're going to start with the Patriots on the road in Tennessee for joint practices with the Titans. Former players here, now playing there, coaching, but that's too easy. How about the weather? Have you been in the South in the summer? Whoa! Bill Belichick walking around swinging a whistle. It's almost a reflex, a whistle in hand on a string. You start swinging it like a lifeguard at the pool. Mike Vrabel, former Patriots player, linebacker doing his thing, and it all unfolded under a blazing sun with high humidity. Some players struggled, others reveled in it.
Feels good, man. Ain't no sunshine like Tennessee sunshine, but it felt good, man. It's a little warmer than we was used to a little bit, but I mean, it's good for us.
I'd rather have the heat than the cold, so I remember those blizzard practices, and I'd rather take this. And I think if you can run in the heat and prepare like this, it's more mental than it is physical.
Happy birthday to Vrabel. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, what is that? Patriots rookies ordered by Bill Belichick to go over to sing to Mike Vrabel, birthday boy. He turned 44 today. When he wasn't being serenaded, Mike Vrabel was coaching up a storm and occasionally talking trash with his pal and former teammate Tom Brady.
It was fun. Brought back a lot of memories just to be able to, sit out there and have him, they make a play and he turns around and says, Mikey, you better cover that, and, you guys need to do this. And I'm sure I had plenty to say too. So it was a lot of fun. We got a lot of respect for those guys, and we can learn a lot from the way they practice and how they operate.
Red Sox are on a mini roll, winners of 2 straight. All right, look, we're not going to get carried away, not with this season, not with what we've seen. But this is cool, and nobody's cooler than Xander Bogaerts. Red hot Rafael Devers, well, maybe him. Watch, you see that little head now? That's like his little thing that he's got. He's got it working, and he's got that working too. Picking up where he left off yesterday. Check him out. Opposite field home run, 8 straight plate appearances, 8 straight hits. 81 years since anybody's done that. Next batter is Xander Bogaerts. He goes the other way, just gets it over the wall. His 100th career home run, 3-0 Boston. 7th inning, now 3-1. Make it 5-1 after Xander teed off on that one. Red Sox bullpen pitched 7 1/3 shutout innings, allowing just 2 hits and 1 walk. And that's how you get it done, be it a matinee or evening baseball, whatever.
Bullpen's fixed. Problem solved.
I don't know.
Wasn't that easy?
He seems skeptical. What do you think?
Band-Aid, temporary.
We're going to have fun at Fenway in September. Yes, we're on a start.
Yeah. 2 concerts are coming in.
Right. 77 tomorrow. A little cool on Friday. You going to turn on the heat? No. And then over the weekend, the heat comes back on. Good weekend for clearing the shelters and watching people run a Falmouth road race.
That's always the best way to watch a road race. Let others do it for you. That does it for us. I'm Melody Mendez.
Brian Brunell, Kevin Walsh, Tim Kelly. Have a good night.
Good night.